you've ever met someone that has Cutco? Like, they've had it 5, 10, 15, what's
My
long?
grandma, I guess.
How long?
Like 40 years.
40 years?
50.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met anybody yet?
No.
Alright, 2 more demos, you'll meet.
I've met a couple, but I didn't. My aunt's had them since she was like, I don't even know when, but she had them for a long time.
Okay, Marianne, what's the longest you've met?
Someone's had it since 1950.
1950.
Mm.
I remembered one of the clients, her husband worked at Cutco, so probably
30, 40 years?
80s.
80, yeah, 40 years. NJ?
1949.
Mm-hmm.
That lady had her Cutco right when the doors opened. She was like 90 something years old.
Brad?
The 40s.
Same, 40s?
My neighbor had, because I like stopped by their house, and then my neighbor said that they had their Cutco, but it was their mom's, so they had it for like more than 50 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's funny what happens. I the other week I ran into a lady that had him 50 years and she's 40 years old because she got it from grandma. But yeah, no, like you guys heard all different ages of people have had Cutco. One thing I'll always hear people tell me is they never regret buying Cutco. Would you agree every time you meet someone that owns Cutco, they're just excited about it?
Yeah.
They're like, I've had this stuff forever, it's the best stuff, I use it every day. The only thing they ever tell me they regret is not buying more when they first bought it. Because guess what happens? It gets more expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They start with something, and just like a lot of other products, like, you know, like a lot of people have Apple. You start with iPhone, you get the AirPods, you get the iPad, you get the MacBook, you get the AirTag, and whatever else they make.
The watch.
So, the what?
The watch.
The Apple Watch. Yeah, so, but that's always one thing you'll run into. People that have Cutco, they love Cutco. They'll tell you every little detail about it. Like, I do quilt shows, like a booth, like the fairs and stuff. And like all the grandmas come up and they've had it like 20, 30, 40, 50 years and they start doing backflips in front of the table. Like they'll bring their friends to just buy more stuff. Like, do you have this one yet? Do you have this one yet? And then that one lady that comes up and like, oh, it's Cutco. They all look at her and they're like, you don't have Cutco? All right, you need to get this. and then they just sell it for me. I'm just standing there, I'm like, credit card. So it's just a good time when you meet people that have had Cutco. So a couple things I want to start with are some sales philosophies. I'm not gonna have any slides. I'm just gonna keep it simple. So you guys might want to take out your notes, jot down a couple things. This was a big one I got from COC from Brandon. Their life is better with you and Cutco in it. All right, just remember that. Their life is better with you and Cutco in it. Number 2, everyone buys. All right, whether they buy or don't buy, at the end of the day, that's a reflection on you. Whether they buy or don't buy, at the end of the day, that's a reflection on you. Obviously, some people, no matter what you do, they're not gonna buy. And some people, you could literally do anything. NJ always makes this story with somebody that dropped a knife on a cat and they still buy Cutco. Like you could mess up the demo and they still buy Cutco. Wasn't it you that told me that story one time?
What?
I don't remember that one. Probably. I've been here for a while, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stories you hear, but again, it's always a reflection on you. One good question NJ always had me ask myself whenever I made a no sale was if my manager was doing this appointment, would they have made a sale? If my CSP in my office was doing this appointment, would they have made a sale? And if the answer is yes, what could you have done better? And if the answer is no, double think, because there might have been something you could have done better. But maybe you did everything you could do. And the last philosophy, it's more fun when everybody buys. Everybody's happy when they buy Cutco. The customer's happy because guess what? Everyone loves Cutco. Even if they don't buy Cutco, they want it. Everybody's happier. You're happier because you made a sale. NJ's happier because you're getting close to your promotions. So everybody's happy. You guys ever like leave someone's virtual appointment or someone's house and they didn't buy? You ever notice how they're kind of sad? They're just not excited. Like they're kind of monotone. But you ever notice when you make a sale, like everybody's happy about it? There you go. So again, their life is better with you and Cutco. Everyone buys. It's a reflection on you whether they do or don't. And it's more fun, right? It's more fun to sell. So it always starts, by the way, even before the demo starts, on the phone, getting the recommendations. You always want to prep the customer in a buying mood. When you make the phone call, you want to sound excited. You want them to be excited to meet you. When you start the demo, you want to have a good start with them. You want them to be excited to hear everything they're talking about. And then question for you guys: when should you handle the objections? I know some of you are new, but I don't know if NJ's tell you this, but Should you handle objections when they come up, before they come up, in the beginning of the demo, at the end of the demo?
Before they come up.
Yeah, as early as possible. Like, I have customers think Cutco is going to be the most expensive thing in their house. Like, when I tell them the price, they're like, that's it? Here's my credit card. So you want to handle everything possible before it even comes up. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But other than that, if they don't buy Cutco, they're going to spend that money on something else. You ever notice someone tells you, I'm broke, I don't have money, something, and then like next week they buy like a video game, a new game station, makeup, shoes, something, and you're like, in your head, didn't you just tell me last week, like, you don't have any money? But guess what people do? They buy things they want. They don't buy things they need. They buy things that they want to buy. And that's just a true thing in general. People do what they want, not what they need to do. You ever notice when people are out of shape? They know what they need to do. They need to eat better. They need to hit the gym. But guess what they do? The things they want to do.
Yeah.
People spend money on all sorts of things. You ever go to someone's house? They have like the weirdest little gadgets, arts, the swords just hanging there. Like they never use them. They got like all the dust on them. They just thought it was cool and they wanted it. And then, you know, a simple thing you guys can think of is like the latest iPhones, the newest game stations, the newest cars. Do they need it? No. Can they get by what they already have? Yeah. Do they buy it anyways? Yeah. So they're gonna buy regardless of whether you sell them Cutco or not. They're gonna buy something elsewhere. They like shiny things, so the best time to sell them Cutco is right there. You want to close them on the spot. Just remember, Cutco is something they're gonna use every day. It's American made, and best of all, it's guaranteed forever. Like your grandma's had her Cutco 40 years. I don't know if you've ever asked her this. It's like, ask her what the oldest thing in her house is. Cutco's probably number one, if not like top two. And like ask anybody that how long they've had their Cutco, like 10, 15, 20 years. Ask them, do you have anything else that's that old? You'll rarely hear an answer.
Sometimes Cutco's older than the house.
Yeah, sometimes Cutco's older than the house. Sometimes Cutco's older than them. Like I said, that lady who's had them 40 years, 50 years, and she's 40. She got them from grandma. So again, sometimes Cutco is older than them, which kind of weird to think about. But again, remember, you always want to write this down. Cutco's American made. They're gonna use it every day, and it's guaranteed forever. Like if there's anything you can say in a demo over and over, it's those three things. Because nobody's gonna remember about the rivets. Nobody's gonna remember about, you know, the wedge lock handle. Nobody's gonna remember like 90% of what you tell them. But what they're gonna remember is that it's high quality, it's American made, that they use it every day, and it's guaranteed forever, and it's expensive. So those are the things they're gonna remember. So I'm gonna walk you through how I create a want. Because again, people don't buy what they need. Usually people buy what they want. So I'm gonna walk you through how I create that want using the Cutco kitchen. Because I always start off, even if it's a new demo, I start off working at the booth. Usually I'm showing people that already own Cutco. So real quick, show of hands, who here thinks that they've already bought Cutco, they're not gonna buy Cutco again? Oh good, that was what I'd be scared of, anybody who raised their hand. Yeah, if they buy Cutco, those are usually the easiest people to sell Cutco to because they like it already. You show them the new stuff. So one thing I heard is if you don't show them everything, they don't know what we have. So how can they buy something if they don't know it exists? You know how many customers I showed the cookware and they're like, you guys have pots and pans? How many times I've shown the flatware? They're like, you guys sell spoons, the gadgets, the outdoor stuff. Again, if they don't know we have it, that means the rep that showed them the first time wasn't doing a good enough job. All right, you want to show them as much stuff as possible because if they know we have it, there's an opportunity you can sell it. So pick something that gets you excited. For me, it's usually the accessories, especially since I show a lot of Cutco owners. And Jay, why don't you have the accessories up? Anyways, all the gadgets, spoons, forks, what do you call it, can openers, utensils, barbecue tools. And you can be specific about a couple things. Any of you guys have a favorite knife? A butcher knife, okay. The cleaver, okay. Yeah, if it's your favorite knife, you usually tend to sell more of that knife because it gets you the most excited. Like I sell a lot of cheese knives. Like it's really hard for me not to sell a cheese knife. Everybody loves that thing. My mom loves that thing. She has like 3. I gave her one yesterday as a gift. So, and then at the end of it, once you create a want, it's really hard for them to say no to you if they want it. So you gotta like make them really want it by pointing out a couple things, like why it's the best thing ever, why they're gonna love it, why they're gonna get a lot of value out of it. Because if they can see themselves using it, wanting it, they're gonna get it, at least something. And you always want to share your goals, by the way, but that's a whole other thing. So let me kind of walk you through how I talk about the Cutco kitchen. So NJ can tell you more about that. There's a whole program, there's a brochure and everything. It's kind of cool. But basically, because I show a lot of people that have Cutco, and even the new ones, but I'm just going to focus on kind of people that have it, because you guys have all met the people that own Cutco. Is I basically start with, yes, Mrs. Jones, you know it's for the knives, but I don't know if you knew this. Cutco is actually a whole kitchen company. So most people, just like you, they start with a few knives or a set and like to build up to something more complete over time. I'd say most people, their dream is to get the complete set. And then down the road, people like to get the flatware. It's like the second thing on the page. You know, they like to get the flatware because it's high quality, US made like the knives. Same warranty, so it's protected even against the garbage disposal in case your kids drop it there. And then the next thing people like to add on is the cookware. So this is usually the oldest thing that we sell. It's actually older than knives. People that have it tell us they love it more than the kitchen knives because it's designed to make your food taste better and healthier for you. And guess what? Just like the knives, it's a one and done set of pots and pans. Same warranties you don't have to worry about again. Same quality, same American made. And then to round out, this is my favorite section when I talk about the gadgets. So this is my favorite section to talk about, Ms. Jones, because you won't believe how many people complained about their kitchen utensils or kitchen gadgets. Like, so many people have told me about their can openers that they buy one every year, every other year, because they just get breaks. They buy another one. The barbecue tools that accidentally get left outside and they rust, something happens, so you buy another one. All the kitchen utensils. Like, you ever gone to someone's house, you open their drawer, they have like a mountain of peelers, can openers, ice cream scoops. I don't say them because you don't want to make them feel bad, because usually them. And then they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, imagine how nice it'd be clearing out the drawer space, and every time you reach for something, it just works. And that's basically the concept of the Cutco kitchen. Instead of having a hodgepodge and mix and match made everywhere but the US, everything matches, looks great, works great, and best of all, guaranteed forever, so it's your one and done. And that's basically what Cutco is known for, is being a one and done company, because when you buy something, you also buy the peace of mind of never having to worry about it again. If you buy the knives, you're done on kitchen knives, unless you want to buy gifts. If you buy the barbecue tools or the accessories, the flatware, the cookware, you're done. It's your one and done set of pots and pans, your one and done set of whatever you buy. Let's go ahead and jump straight into everything. And that's usually how I introduce the kitchen. And it's just a couple minutes, but just by doing that, like, they didn't even know we had spoons and forks, pots and pans, accessories. I even tell them, yeah, we actually have some outdoor stuff too, and but you'll get to see that later. Hunting knives, outdoor garden tools. But just by doing that, it just gives them the idea of, like, there's a lot of other stuff they could buy. That's why usually it's really hard for me not to sell something. Right now, I think my average order when I do like service appointments is about $800. I don't even know what it is. Like I mentioned earlier, it's about handling the objections beforehand. But I literally hand them a piece of paper, a notebook. I'm like, yeah. So anything that you want to know pricing of or have any questions on, just go ahead and jot it down here. And I tell them why, basically, just so I don't get distracted when I'm sharpening. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. And then they're just looking through it. I'm asking them questions, sharpening. And then by the end of it, they have their whole wish list. I add up everything. I tell them, yeah, so just so you know, this is everything on your wish list. This is how much it comes out to. And if you want to do what 90% of customers do, just split up on the easy pay. It's only 5 payments of this. Would you rather pay for it in full or just split it? And then they're just like, oh, we probably split it. Okay, cool. You want to go ahead and do that then? And then they're like, yeah. I would say about 8 to 9 out of 10 people that I show, I don't get any objections. They just give me their credit card. And then there's that one customer that's like, oh, it's a little expensive. So that's when I cut them a good deal. And that's basically it. You just want to come in the mindset of whatever happens, you're going to sell something. And you want to show them everything. You don't want to take forever though, which is why I do the quick summary. Just kind of quickly show them, and I focus on whatever I'm supposed to do. But in the back of their head, they're thinking of, okay, I'm going to get anything. Should I start with knives? Should I start with pots and pans? Should I start with this? They kind of want everything. And you want to give them the idea of, like, for example, I said earlier, this is what everybody wants, the dream set. So it's like, well, if this is what everybody wants, and that's the one I want. And that's basically what I do on my demos. So to kind of round out here, I always like to tell people, never take things too serious. I like to make a joke. At the end of the day, all we do is show soccer moms cool stuff and they buy stuff. I just go, it's people's houses. They give me a cup of tea, coffee. I sit down, talk to them, and then they just give me their credit card. Walk out, make a few $100 per appointment, and boom. So again, don't take your job too serious. Have fun with it, because that's all we do. Cutco's easy to sell. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to anyways. Cutco's such a great product and such an easy product to sell. You guys can sell it. Think about it. If Cutco was like a really hard product to sell, do you think we'd hire you guys? Do you think we'd hire unexperienced people? No, right?
Nice.
Yeah, plain and simple. Like, just remember, Cutco's like the easiest thing to sell. Just have fun, ask for a cup of coffee, and ask for their credit card.
Nice.
You send them to Oregon.
Jason
for
can
a
sell
few
it.
years.
Yes.
It's
It's
actually a lot
so
of
easy.
fun.
Jason can sell.
Good job.
It's so easy. No, literally, NJ knows this. Like, I was the quietest person in training. I just read my script, showed them, and then they did stuff. Any other question?
Yes. So obviously going back to what you said about handling objections and how it's easier when you just handle the objections up front. What are some things you started to do when you were a new rep that got you good at handling objections?
Before, I definitely was not good at handling before the demo. I'm like, how to handle it but once I kind of figured out, transparency is a big thing. I'm like, all right, I know they're gonna think it. At least before, I'm like, oh, they're gonna think it's expensive. So I'm like, what if I use that? Just make it sound more expensive, and then I show the actual price. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's why you show that comparison, right? They still do that, right? The demo.
Yeah.
Gustav, Shun, like we compare it to other high quality stuff. I'm like Marion, I haven't seen the new trainings or anything. But yeah, I'm like, we compare it to that because it's the other high quality stuff. So they're thinking Cutco's gonna be $5, $6, $7, $8 for a set. I'm like, all right, cool. Make them the more expensive they think it is, the better. Because then you show them the actual price. You're like, oh, that's not too bad. And that's how you handle that the value thing. And then the good question, by the way, if you ever hear, well, I wouldn't use all those pieces. Is handling that before it comes up by obviously talking about it. A good question to ask is, do you see yourself using everything in the set? And if the answer is yes, you did a good job. You properly showed everything. If the answer is no, I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. What's like the biggest thing or two you don't feel like you'd get a lot of use out of? And then go back to those, ask them some questions on those specific pieces, show them why they're going to use it, and now you have them see why they use everything. And that's handling before it even comes up. Like, oh, I wouldn't use it. Same with the 5-pay. Like I mentioned, that 90% of customers just split it up. So they're like, oh, I can do that. So I'm like, that's why I asked, like, in full or pay it up. I won't hear like, oh, that's a lot of money all at once. I'm like, oh, I could just split it up. And then they just tell me.
You guys have any other questions for Jason?
Yeah, throw whatever you guys got. I mean,
Squeeze one or two more in there.
there's never any dumb questions, by the way.
Ask one that's like either related to motivation or like lines of things, what he would say if a customer said this.
Could be anything. Could be a specific objection.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You guys notice how confident he is about the product that he's selling? As if there's no question about it? That's a big part of it. Conviction. Right? That's something that Jason really has, is conviction and just product knowledge as well.
Thanks, Tim. That's why I asked you guys that question in the beginning. Kind of give you guys like, oh yeah, we sell awesome stuff. People have this forever.
I guess in the Zoom call this morning, one of the questions that they asked both of them were, what are 3 questions you ask in every call, or like I guess every single time you do sell? Like, what are 3 questions you ask before like the end of the sale?
Few questions I asked. Luckily, since I'm sharpening their knives, I ask anyways. Like, what do you cook? Is there anything you have trouble with in the kitchen? I might be able to make a suggestion on what you already own, or something that might really help. So I definitely asked, what do you do / question. Another question I ask is if they don't get everything in one go, because some people they can't get everything, but they start with something. I'm like, yeah. So if on your list, what's like the next most important thing? That way I make a note of that, and I'm like, what would be a good time to follow up with you, so we can add that to your kitchen, finish it up. And I literally just put on my calendar, follow up with this person about cookware, this, because you won't believe how many sales I've gotten just because I remember this was the next important thing on their list. And then I guess one more question I would ask. Let's see. Everything kind of feels like a habit now at this point, just kind of going through it. But I ask a lot of just for fun questions. Like if they're hesitant on something, I'm like they don't want to give me an answer. I'm like, hey, just for fun, do you want to see what that looks like? Like what if you were to get everything on your list? Just for fun, if you were to get this, would you pay for it in full or would you split it up? Just for fun, would you get it in classic, pro, red?
Yeah.
It's just it's such an easy question. Just for fun, if you were to do this, what would you do?
Just for fun, just get it.
Yeah, just
Just get it.
that's a good one, Ninja. Yeah, just for fun, just get it, guys. Remember, again, that's why I had that last part. Keep it simple. Read the script. Have fun. That's the most important thing. Have fun. If you're not having fun, J. Brad always said you're not doing it right. At the end of the day, we're just showing cool stuff, and people buy it. That's it.
Thank you.